Hey guys, it's Chad here, and I just wanted to shoot this video real quick to show you what we've been doing with the Photoshop Marketing University. Now that is underway, and the feedback has been nothing short of electric. We've been having a lot of fun, there's been a lot of value, and the students have been walking away and taking the things that I've been teaching them and actually putting them to work for their own online businesses as well as their clients. So I just kind of want to cover some of the things that we've been doing in the Photoshop Marketing University, and then I'm going to show you a sneaky little trick that I exposed to them last night that you can use in your own online business, or if you have clients. It doesn't matter if you're doing graphics right now or not, because you very well easily could be, and this is something that's not going to change. Like, I always hear all these marketers talking about how easy it is to monetize with Facebook and with video and all this other stuff, and it is. It's not difficult, but those things are always changing, right? You always got to keep up with the game. Well, when it comes to graphics, some of the elements might change, some of the styles might change, but this is not going to change, right? There's always going to be a need for graphics, and the way we use graphics in Photoshop marketing, that's not going to change, right? I'm teaching you skills that you're going to be able to use, as long as Photoshop's going to be around. And there'll always be a need, and so you'll always be able to sell graphics to make money. So I think that's very important today. So I have a notepad here because there is so much stuff that we are covering inside of Photoshop marketing. Okay, so first of all, our first lesson, I taught them how to be organized with their layers and their groups, and they learn to work efficiently. This is something that most artists get wrong, and they just go and they create layers like I have here on the screen. I did that on purpose just to kind of show you that this is not how you want your layers to look. You want them organized, and you want to position yourself so that that template can be used over and over again. Okay, you're going to learn all about that. Even if you've never opened up Photoshop before, it's okay. I'm going to make it very easy for you. The second thing is I showed them how and nobody believed this when I said, look, I don't have a creative bone in my body. Everybody has challenged me on that, but it's true. If I have to start from the ground up, if I have to take this coffee cup right here, and if I have to create this in Photoshop, I can't do it. Okay, I have to have somewhere to start. But if I have somewhere to start, then I can take this coffee cup and I can make it into a beer stein mug because I have somewhere to start. And that's the same with everything we do online. That's the same with our interfaces. That's the same with a banner, a website template, a video template like you see here on the screen. We're going to talk about this here in a minute. This is pretty exciting. It doesn't matter. I have to have somewhere to start. I can't start with a blank canvas. Okay? You're going to learn the same thing. The first session, I showed them one of my favorite strategies that I have used for so many years that allows you to create those six-figure, and even some of my clients have gone on to do seven figures with some of my designs. And it's a simple little trick. It is manipulating Photoshop like it was never meant to be, and that's what I've done. Okay, I'm not the genius everybody thinks I am with Photoshop, but I've learned enough to be dangerous. I've learned enough to get around it, and I have just manipulated it. And I've taken their tools and I've used them in ways that they were never intended for. And I'm able to take somebody else's design. First of all, we don't steal designs. We use them as a foundation. And the example I gave last night is, if you remember in grade school, remember how there used to be, the teachers used to give these, it was like a picture, and then there was like a piece of wax paper or something equivalent like that that you put over the top of the picture, and then you would kind of trace the lines. Remember that? And then when you took the bottom piece out, you had a brand new picture that you color or whatever. I mean, I'm only 38 years old, but I remember that. Well, we're doing the same exact thing, right? We're using somebody else's work just to give us a foundation, just to get the ideas flowing. And then what we are doing is we are taking that foundation and we are making it completely unique, 100% original, and it's our own piece of artwork. But there's something else we're doing that everybody, it just kind of goes over their head. These designs and all this artwork that's already out there, it's already been split tested, right? And trust me, I do this myself. I'll take a design and I'll go out there and it'll have a red headline on the top, and then I'll go and I'll change that headline to blue, and I'll split test the two. I'll find my control, I'll figure out which one does better, and then the one that does better, I always try to beat that. Well, some of these big Fortune 500 companies and some of these big franchises, they've done the same thing. They've already split tested this, and they know the size that their font needs to be. They know what type of font. They know what kind of picture needs to be there. They know the placement. They know everything. And so we can allow them to do all the work for us, and then we simply take that foundation, we make it our own. But again, I want to emphasize, we are not stealing anybody's work. Okay, it's very important that you understand that what I'm teaching you to do is create a piece of artwork using Photoshop very easily that's 100% original. Nobody can ever come back on you. They can't even tell you that it originated from here unless they saw you do it. But in that case, all we're doing is we're using it as a blueprint. Okay, you're going to discover everything that we do in Photoshop. I'm going to teach you how to design these, how to create your PSDs so that they can be used over and over again. I have clients that come to me and they say, hey, I need a header created, and I'm simply able to go open up a header that I did yesterday, make a few modifications. It might take me 20 minutes. As soon as I make those changes, I turn around, I can charge a client anywhere from $500 to $1,000, even higher, and I use an existing template with just a few changes, dropping in some new images, doing some manipulation, stuff that you're going to learn in Photoshop. I'm able to have a brand new design. And we do this with our sales pages, we do this with our headers, we do this with our banners, we do this with everything. Anytime I open up Photoshop, I save it so that it can be used later on. I make sure I create my layers properly, my groups properly, so that I can simply just drag and drop. And people think that it takes me weeks or even longer to do designs, and I'm telling you that some of those designs that people think have taken me weeks to do, I've probably been able to do it anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. That quick, sometimes even faster. Okay? You're going to learn how we create the beautiful software interfaces. This is the one I showed last night. This is for a product launch we have coming up. This is called FB Magic Bar, and this was all designed in Photoshop. I show you how easily we can go and create interfaces just like you see here. Matter of fact, everybody that's part of that Photoshop Marketing University, they're going to receive this template. I'm just going to give it to them. There's a lot of value here, but you will be able to design interfaces just like this. Now, there's launches happening all the time, and this just doesn't apply to internet marketing. And they go out there and they create these plugins, they create these softwares, but they need help with their interfaces. They need help with the commercial appeal and the branding, and you are going to be able to offer that service. Okay, you'll be able to create interfaces just like you see here on the screen. We covered this last night, and then you're going to learn how to create software boxes just like you see here. Now, this here took me about 15 minutes. It really was that quick. And I can do quality work like this for some of the biggest marketers in the world, and I can turn around and charge anywhere from $197 all the way up to $1,000 depending on how extensive the project is. We're going to cover this in the next session, in session number 3. Okay, so you're going to discover how to do all of this stuff here, and I'm going to give you access. I'm going to give you a bonus here as soon as we get to the end of the video. But right now, I want to tell you what I revealed on last night's session, and I didn't even plan on covering it. Okay, when I do these sessions, I have a set agenda, okay, and I follow that agenda. I know the things that I'm going to teach, and I know the strategies that I'm going to show them, but since I'm not just a graphics guy, I'm an actual marketer, I'm out there implementing these things each and every day, there's certain things that I do in my business, and I don't even realize I'm doing it, right? And so since these sessions are live events, that happens. And I'm able to provide so much more value than I originally intended because I want people to walk away, take action, and be successful. So I'm going to show you this cool little strategy that was revealed last night. Now, let me go ahead and open up the web page real quick. Okay, so if you see this web page right here, this is actually live. This is one of my products. It's converting extremely well. And I got this idea from another site. I saw another sales page and I said, wow, I really like the idea. Now, typically I don't like black sites, but I saw this sales page, I saw how they did it, and I said, wow, I really like how big that video is. I like the effects they have on the side, and I'm not one that really likes glows or anything, but it worked. It just worked, and it had that rich feel to it. And I said, I really like that. I appreciate that. So what I did, and you learn how to do all this in Photoshop marketing, was I went and created what you see right here on the screen. Okay? And I took that, I saved it as a PSD. This is basically 3 parts. There's one part right here, there's one part over here, and then this monitor, which I didn't have to create, I used a free resource to get this monitor, is the 3rd part. Now what I did was I saved this as a PSD, and I contacted a developer in India. Now you can get developers anywhere in the world, and we talk about that in Photoshop marketing. And what I said is, I said, this is what I want to happen. I want it to be on a black background. He says, do you want it to be WordPress or HTML? I said, I prefer HTML because WordPress, there's vulnerabilities, it gets hacked. Just make it an HTML page, and then it's easy to clone. There's not a lot of coding. You don't have to mess with the database, nothing like that. So I gave this PSD to him. And I said I want a button below this video here, which I think in the other PSD I actually did design a button down there, and you'll learn how to create buttons that fast, you know, not even starting from the ground up. And I say this is a PSD, and I said I want this to be a YouTube video here, so code it so that YouTube is automatically playing, and you know it looks really nice and everything. I want my button below the video. I want there to be a URL to the button. Guys, I'm not a coder. I can get around code, but I don't like to mess with code. Instead, I like to mess with images, and I'm going to show you what we did here. So he took that. He said it's going to be about 25 bucks. I said, okay, 25 bucks, that's fair. And what he did was he created this page that you see right here on the screen for $25. I spent 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. You know, I had to find the perfect image and everything else, and I had to do an effect to this. This is called a mask. You learn how to do mask and everything. We covered that last night in the university, and it took me about 5 to 10 minutes. I created that PSD. He created the page just like you see here. Now, what we did, the next thing is to go out there and see how this page does. So, we opened up just a little bit of traffic. We're in pre-launch phase. We haven't even launched this thing yet. And I'm not trying to pitch this program at you at all, so don't take it that way. But if I come over here and log into our back office, this offer right here, it's a $47 offer. So if I click Get Access Now, I'm going to show you, this is called Prosperity. Okay, this is a prosperity rights. If I come down to the bottom, you can see that it's a $47 ticket. Okay, it's just an entry-level product into our main license, which is a $1,997 license. So I'm going to show you in our back office. You can see 47, 47, 47, 47, 47. This offer has done extremely well. We haven't even launched it. We haven't even opened it up to the public. We've just been driving a little bit of traffic here and there, testing it, see how well the page does, because I'm very curious. Okay. So now that we know this page has done extremely well, I said, hey, I love this design. I want to spin off this design, and I want to have a couple designs just like this, but they're going to be different, right? Same look, we're going to have the same black background and everything, and the same video, but I want it to be different so that no 2 designs are exactly the same. The strategy I'm about to teach you, I could create 10 of these pages, not knowing very much about Photoshop, not having to pay a dime to have them coded, and I could probably have it done in half a day. And I'm going to show you what I did. If I come over here and I inspect this element, first of all, this is just one picture. Let me see if I can get it to highlight. I don't know if I can. Okay, so from this edge all the way over here, that is one picture. So what I want to do is I want to inspect this element. I'm using Chrome. If you use Firefox and you use Firebug, whatever you need to do, just find where the image lives. Okay? So here is my link address. I'm going to go ahead and open up that image, and here it is. Now, this page was coded for those exact dimensions, meaning I can take this image and I can change this image however I see fit. I just have to make sure I don't change the canvas size. Okay, so that's exactly what I did. I pulled this image into Photoshop just like you see here. Alright, this is exactly like it was, and now I simply went and added a new image over here, and I added a new image over here. Now the name of this image is body_bg_01.jpg. Now, I don't mean to get technical for you. If you keep watching this video over and over, or if you just think about it, it's going to make sense. All I need to do was go into FTP or File Manager, whatever you're doing, and clone that one page. Okay, so I might have prosperity.php or prosperity.html. Now what I can do is I can go and I can call it whatever your new product is, right? We can call it license.html. Okay, I make an exact clone of that page. I go into the image folder where it lives, so I'm going to open up my images folder, and as long as I have called the image the same exact name, and as long as it is the same exact canvas size like it is here, then here is the result. Here's where it started. And let me get here. I'll just change this to 3, and you will see here is the new result.
Hi.
Brand new video, brand new look, new button, everything. But guess what? I didn't have to do anything with coding. All I did was took these images into Photoshop, manipulated them, override the existing image on the server, and that's it. I have a whole new page. I didn't have to pay for any coding. I didn't have to design the page again. I didn't have to do anything. Now, what's happened is people have seen this page and they've said, hey, can you design a page for me just like that? I love this page. And I will tell you that I can open up this template here. I can drop in new images, give them a new button. I can change the color of the background if I want. Maybe I want to put in a gradient background, whatever I want to do. And I can have a new page for my client in about 20 minutes tops. And I can turn around and charge anywhere from $197, $497. I don't know. You work that out, okay? That's completely up to you. I'm just showing you the technique and how fast we can do this. Now, I've done this for years. My start with Photoshop was not only my restaurants, I had gift shops, I had coffee shops, but also I was very involved in real estate. My ex-wife was a pretty big realtor here in Wyoming. So the reason why she was so big is because we were able to dominate the internet with all of our blogs and websites. We had like 55 different website or WordPress blogs, and how I was able to do this was I went and I took a theme called Agent Press and I customized it, and it cost me a lot of money. I think it was like $500 to get it perfect, right? I had it customized where she had like drop-down menus of construction homes, luxury homes, you know, fixer-uppers, and then, you know, we had videos over here on the side. I mean, it was an awesome blog, guys, and I paid a lot of money to have it customized. Well, when it was all said and done, what I was able to do was I was able to go into each one of those images, pull them into Photoshop, keep the canvas size the same, just make changes to the images, okay? I had somebody go and clone those blogs, and then all I did was replace with the new images. And so what happened was, when you open up the WordPress blog or the WordPress site, you saw a completely new site, even though it was the same thing. Everything was there. All the bells and whistles were there and everything else. It looked completely different because the whole front end had different images, okay? And I've done this for years, okay? It works with websites, it works with WordPress, it works with banners, it works with Craigslist ads. It doesn't matter, okay? This is how we are using Photoshop in our marketing business. All right, so there's a link below this video where you can find out more about the Photoshop Marketing University, and when you join that university today, this is where it all started. This is the Photoshop Marketing members area. When you join the university today, if you don't already have the Series 1 PSD templates, then I'm going to give you all these templates. I'm going to give you the one-time offer, which is the HTML launch kit, and then I'm also going to give you all the PSD templates that we create our sales pages and everything else. Okay, so you can get all the one-time offers, everything else, and then you're going to have this session right here that's called the University. You can see the replays that have already taken place depending on when you're watching this video. And then starting next week, we have our next live event you'll be able to participate in that live event. And I'm going to show you, well, I don't know when you're watching this video, but I can promise you there's going to be a lot of value there. This is something that you can implement in your business today. It doesn't matter if you're doing your own online marketing or if you're ready to go out there and find clients. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that too, but we really need to get you polished up, and I need to show you some really cool stuff, which I'm prepared to do. And just to kind of show you what the feedback has been, I just saw some of these posts come in just a couple minutes ago. Bob is saying, I've always been able to get around Photoshop, but it has always been like torture with me. With just 2 lessons under my belt, I already feel more confident in using it. I just built a very simple banner using the trick Chad taught me, and it looks good. I want more, and I can't wait. Trevor has gone on to say, wow, another great learning lesson at the university just now. So easy to do this stuff when shown how. I really appreciate Chad's efforts to explain everything in such detail. One thing is most important though, students need to practice in order to really learn this stuff. Chad teaches a theory. He cannot teach you the art that you can only learn by experience. Can't wait for the next installment. This is so good. Thanks, Chad, for sharing your knowledge. Okay, that's just a little bit of the feedback that just has come in recently. You'll also get access to this group here where you have access to me. This is a very exclusive group. I'm not looking to bring in thousands of members. I'm looking for this to be a small community where people can learn to create these kind of graphics, and I can bring them into my circle because I'm getting people to hit me up all the time, and they want me to build websites. They want me to design headers for them and banners and stuff like that. And I would like a core group that I could say, hey, Trevor, could you get this banner done? Are you interested in doing this artwork or whatever? Because I'm just overwhelmed with everything I'm doing. Okay, so that's my intention. I'm looking for people that are actually out there, want to learn this stuff, and are out there trying to take action. So if you're that person, there is more detail in the link below. You can also add me to Skype, chad.nicely. And I think there's a lot of value being offered here, and I promise you I'm going to teach you to use Photoshop in a way that nobody else is doing. Okay, I'm one of the few marketers that are actually out there doing marketing and graphics and video and sales writing, and I have my own license rights and creating products and everything else. So I can definitely teach you to use Photoshop in a way nobody else can. All right, we're not just messing with templates or anything. We're using Photoshop in a way it was never intended to be used for. Okay, so if you have any questions, definitely hit me up. And there's one other thing. This is very important. I almost forgot. When you become a part of the Photoshop Marketing University, since I am the license rights guy, I'm going to give you a chance to make back your investment. So what happens is, as soon as this university is done, we are going to take it, we are going to package it up, we're going to make it look really pretty, we're going to have a beautiful high converting sales page just like you see with all of our products. We're going to have testimonials on all the front from all the members that attended, and then I'm going to add it to my affiliate platform. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the license rights to resell that product for 100% commission, which at that point on your first sale, you have now made back all of your money on the original purchase. So now you get the training for free. So you've learned how to manipulate images and graphics, how to create the kind of things I'm doing. I'm not leaving any stone unturned. I'm revealing everything to you. So you get all that training for free where you can go out there and use it in your own online business. And I promise if you implement the things I'm going to teach you, you will increase your business, and you can go out there and you can find clients. But on top of that, I'm giving you a chance to make back your investment, but you have the license rights to it, which means you can go out there and sell this over and over and over and over. You can do exactly what I'm doing right now on video. You can talk about everything that you learned in this university, how it has affected your business, how easily you were able to go out there and find clients, and then you're simply able to say, look, if you want to learn how I did this, if you want to learn how easy it really is, then click the link below this video, and this time, guys, that's going to be your link, and you have the license rights to sell that product for eternity. Okay, so not only will you make back your money on the first sale, you can make back your money and then go in the profit zone because you're able to sell it as much as you want. But it's important to understand that when you actually implement the things I teach you, and then it's going to be an easier sell for you because you're going to be able to relate to people, and you're going to be able to tell them what it is you learned and how you took action and how it has changed your online business. Okay, so this video went a little bit longer than I intended, but hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. At the very least, you know the sneaky little trick that we're using here to create sales pages, create video pages, create WordPress sites, create headers on the fly. Manipulate the existing images that are there, clone the site, replace the images. There you go. Charge your clients for it. It's beautiful, guys. Trust me. It works. Okay? This stuff's exciting. Hopefully you hear the passion in my voice. Hopefully you see it in my face. I can't wait to connect with you. I know that we're going to get a ton of signups from this video. And so on that note, I will see you guys next week. Thanks.